So, what I'm going to discuss in today's session, in the previous session, we have understood about like this what is a Microsoft Fabric, what are all the different kind of components we have inside this Microsoft Fabric. After you are learning this Microsoft Fabric course, what kind of jobs you can able to apply like a data engineering role, data analysis role, and a data science role over here. So Microsoft Fabric, it's not a new thing actually. So it is a platform where built by using the existing capabilities of the Microsoft. Let's for example, you have already Microsoft Azure data engineering capabilities. Inside the Microsoft Azure portal, we have some data engineering capabilities and we have a Microsoft Power BI capabilities and we have a Microsoft Azure ML machine learning capabilities. So all these things already existing in the Microsoft. So where those are existing, they are existing in different platforms. Let's for example, coming to the Microsoft Azure. Microsoft Azure contains some data engineering related services. What are the data engineering related services available? Those are like a some ETL related data factory, data flows, and data bricks and data lake and data warehousing, nothing but a synapse data warehousing and Azure SQL database. Okay, data warehousing, Azure SQL database. These are all the services already available inside the Microsoft Azure. Then when you are coming to the Power BI capabilities, so for the data analysis purpose, Microsoft has introduced a Power BI tool. So the Power BI tool whichever we are using to designing of the reports and dashboards, we are using this Power BI tool. It contains a designing of the Power BI reports designing and modeling designing, modeling, and also we can able to write down some formulas, the calculations and expressions by using a DAX, all these things. Then again, Microsoft having inside the Microsoft Azure data engineering itself, that is Microsoft Azure data science related things, the machine learning studio we have. Machine learning studio we have to perform some machine learning algorithms to run on your data, to train your model, and to test your model, to predict the data over here. So ideally, to achieve any kind of data engineering background, we are going to use these services, this platform for data engineering purpose. And when you are coming to the data analysis purpose, for data analysis purpose, we are going to use this one, data analysis purpose. For data science purpose, we are going to use this platform. Now the Microsoft wants to give a better single platform with more customized and more simplified platform to do all the three activities in a single place by integrating into one place to make easier to development and maintenance of the project in single place, that is Microsoft Fabric. So Microsoft Fabric is coming to the picture by integrating of all these three things, whatever the data engineering capabilities from Microsoft Azure, whatever the data analysis, nothing but a Power BI capabilities, and whatever the data science capabilities into Microsoft Fabric over here. Microsoft Fabric. So Microsoft Fabric is a cloud-based SaaS platform. What do you mean by SaaS? SaaS stands for Software as a Service. It is a SaaS platform. SaaS platform means software as a service. Whatever the software services already developed and available in a cloud data centers, you are simply using that services to implement your project, to implement your business intelligence end to end solution to the customer over here. Okay, so why we are having this Microsoft Fabric is going to be high demand in the market is the reason because there is no such platform currently available in the market with these many capabilities in the cloud environment in a single platform having data engineering capabilities, data analysis, data science capabilities. And also this platform is dedicated for only data engineers and data analysts and data science. We have Microsoft Azure, we have AWS cloud, we have GCP cloud. But those are like having so many things like a infrastructure related, platform related, and software related. But here, this Microsoft Fabric platform is completely focusing on the data intelligence platform. So nowadays, the data intelligence is increasing day by day. Every company they are going to implementing some data intelligence on their business data to get more insights from their business to take the better decision making over here. So that is the reason, because of that importance, Microsoft has recognized they were building a separate SaaS platform, cloud platform, dedicated to the data side. So currently, whatever the projects are currently running in Microsoft Azure for Azure data engineering, and whatever the Power BI platform, data analysis, reports and designing, and this data science, everything already existing projects, the clients wants to migrate their projects into this Microsoft Fabric, because comparing to this Azure platform, this Power BI platform, this Microsoft Fabric platform, performance point of view, maintenance point of view, and cost point of view also little bit like a cost is less and the performance is high, and the managing of this project is easy, and development also made it easy. Earlier when 4 to 5 developers are working in Azure data engineering, when 2 to 3 developers working on the Power BI to designing the reports, when one or two people are working on the data science projects, now 30 percentage of the development time has reduced with this Microsoft platform. So when you are developing this data science or Power BI or data engineering, if you are going to write down any kind of commands on the development, this is going to be automated with the help of the Copilot feature what available inside the Microsoft Fabric. That means you are not going to write down any commands inside. Simply you are going to give the instructions inside over here like this. Hey, give me give me a query to concat first name and last name in customer table in SQL Server. So what will happen? Automatically this query will be written in your Microsoft Fabric platform when you are using the Copilot over here. This query will be automatically as written. So you no need to write any of the queries over here. You don't need to write down any of the queries in terms of the SQL Server, or in terms of the Python, or in terms of any other language when you are writing some DAX, whatever it is. Just ask what is your requirement. Automatically Microsoft Copilot inside this Microsoft Fabric, it will write down everything whatever you want. It will write a better code comparing to a developer, because a developer can write always only a standard code, but this Copilot, whichever similar like a chat GPT, Copilot is nothing but a chat GPT. This is going to write a better optimized code to make more performance over here. That is the main advantage of this one. There is no such platform. Generally if you want to write down anything codes, you need to go to the chat GPT and you need to search over there and you need to get and copy paste into your platform, right? But this is related to your Microsoft Fabric only. Copilot is integrated already in the Microsoft Fabric, then automatically it is going to be giving you the intelligence ideas and what formulas you can able to use and all those things. Let me show you that one as well. Okay. So when you are coming to the Microsoft Fabric, to implement any business intelligence solutions, the first what you need to do is you need to make it a planning of the environment. So first you need to set up the Microsoft Fabric SaaS platform, planning of this platform, environment setup we need to do first. So as a part of this environment setup, you should have very clear idea about the capacity planning. Capacity planning means how much computation you want to take it, and how much like the pricing you can able to afford based on your workload in your project. Ideally, when you are going to the Azure data engineering or Power BI or data science, the capacity plannings and the compute will be assigned service to service different. Data factory is using a different capacity plannings. Data flows are using different data bricks and data warehousing, Azure SQL database. Service to service, the capacity plannings are different. You need to understand for data factory separately, data flow separately, and the costing for each one is separately. But when you are coming to the Microsoft Fabric, the capacity planning we are not going to do on the service to service. It is completely on the platform basis we are going to take the capacity planning. How much capacity you want, you are going to specify at the time of creating of this environment. So later also you can able to scale up and downing of your capacity planning according to the number of capacity plannings. The charges will be applicable for your Microsoft Fabric. Okay, so that is the reason first we need to understand about this Microsoft Fabric environment setup. What kind of licenses are there, how much it is going to cost, and which one is suitable, the capacity plans. The capacity means the computation. Definitely you need some RAM, CPU, specific power, computation power to run your services inside the Microsoft Fabric, right? This we are going to define on the Fabric account tenant level only. Okay, so tenant means you are going to take one account as a tenant to the Microsoft Fabric. Let's for example, I'm a XYZ company, E classes. So E classes is going to take is a one of the tenant to the Microsoft Fabric. That means we are going to take a licensing on this Microsoft Fabric as a tenant. Okay, we are the tenant to the Microsoft Fabric. So under one tenant we can take it multiple capacity plannings over here, because I can have multiple accounts I can able to take it. Under that each capacity planning we have different workspaces we are going to create, and under the workspaces different objects and items we are going to create it over here. So let me understand that hierarchy, what exactly we are going to create over there. You know, not to worry about that one. Okay, so first before going to that one, what are all the things we are going to discuss it over here, we can able to understand over here. Okay, right. So first we are going to set up the environment setup and capacity planning. Then after, what you need to do is definitely we need some storage services available inside the Microsoft Fabric, right? So what are all the storage services you need, and what are the different kind of storage services available inside this one? We are going to understand very clearly about the what are the storage services. That means to store your data, what are the different kind of storage services available. Then after, inside as a part of the storage services, we have a lake house and we have a data warehouse and we have a KQL database. These are the three different kind of storage services available. Then whatever the storage services, to process the data into the storage services, we need some data ingestion services. Nothing but a ETL. to do the ETL process, data ingestion, ingestion services. Ingestion services are like a data factory, data bricks, sorry, data flows, and we have a data engineering. What do you mean by data engineering? Data engineering is nothing but notebooks. Notebooks. That means we are going to write down some Spark notebooks with the SQL and PySpark commands over here. Then after we have a real-time analytics. So these ETL services we are going to use to perform these ETL services we are going to use to perform this whatever the data ingestion process. Okay, data ingestion process, data factory, data flows, data engineering notebooks, and real-time analysis. Okay, by using these data ingestion services, we are going to store the data into these storage services. So this data ingestion services will bring the data from different source systems. The source systems might be anything. It might be another cloud, or it might be a on-premises SQL server, Oracle, or any file systems, or any IoT sensors, real-time data, whatever it is. So once your data is coming to this storage services from your source systems, then what we are going to do, we are going to developing a models, semantic models on top of that one. The semantic models means it is going to be like a designing of the relationships between the tables. Semantic models. Then finally, we are going to exploring and visualizing of the data by using this model, by using a Power BI over here, by using Power BI. So the end goal of this project is we want to design some reports and dashboards to the customer by taking the data from the storage services. On top of the storage services, we want to design a semantic models. From these semantic models, we are going to designing of the Power BI reports over here. So this is what I'm going to uh, design and making the flow. And the first step is about environment setup. Then after we can discuss about the data ingestion services, storage services, designing the model, and Power BI. Along with that, in any project there is some kind of a administrative things like a whatever the project and objects you are developing, how you want to maintain that version controlling of that, right? So when you are working in a team collaboration is very important. And to manage and maintaining of the history of your project, we need to do the version controlling by using a git repository. By using a git repository, we are going to do this version controlling. And then after, if you want to deploy this project whatever you have developed from one environment to another environment, you need to use the Azure DevOps CI/CD pipelines also. We are going to create it over here. So this is all what I am going to discuss in this training to implement of your complete business intelligence end-to-end solution in a Microsoft Fabric over here. Okay, so most of the time whatever we are going to discuss it over here, this data ingestion and this storage services, these two services are more familiar what we were discussing in the Microsoft Azure data engineering course. And this semantic models and Power BI what we are using, this is more familiar to the Power BI developer. Apart from this data engineering and data analysis, sometimes we are going to run some data science machine learning models on the data as well. That is more related to the data science. So many people having a questions over here, which course I need to learn? Do I need to learn the Azure data engineering or do I need to learn the Microsoft Fabric? If I am learning Microsoft Fabric, can I able to work on the data Azure data engineering as well? Yes. If you are learning the Microsoft Fabric course, if you are learning Microsoft Fabric course, how much we can able to cover in the Azure data engineering? Almost 80 percentage of the Azure data engineering course you can able to learn it in the Microsoft Azure. So Microsoft Fabric is covering 80 percentage of the Azure data engineering course. I can say simply ADE. ADE stands for Azure Data Engineering. If you are learning Microsoft Fabric, 80 percentage of the Azure data engineering concepts will be covered. 80 percentage of the Azure data engineering. If I am learning Microsoft Fabric, how much percentage of the Power BI we are going to cover? We are going to cover 100 percentage of the Power BI. 100 percentage of the Power BI we are going to cover. Okay, when I am going to applying for the jobs, when I am going to applying for the jobs, let's for example I have already 10 years of IT experience. In this 10 years of experience, I've been working for almost 10 years Java and testing different kind of technologies I worked. Now when I'm going to search for a job, when I'm going to prepare my resume, how I need to prepare? So you need to prepare your resume. The past 6 years work for Java and testing. The current 4 years, remaining current 4 years, what you need to do is you need to specify Fabric. Okay, if I am putting current 4 years as a Fabric, but Fabric is in the market from last 2 years only. From last 1.5 to 2 years only, this Microsoft Fabric is in the market. Then how can I say 4 years of experience I work for the Fabric? Fabric is coming to the picture from last 2 years, 1.5 to 2 years. But earlier to Fabric, there is a Power BI, there is a data engineering is there. So then simply you can tell them I was working for Azure data engineering from last 2 years. I implemented my projects in Azure data engineer or Power BI, whichever you are more comfortable. So you can break down this 4 years of experience, 2 years into Power BI or 2 years into Azure data engineering. Okay, any of one. Now from last 2 years, I've been working on the Microsoft Fabric environment. So same Power BI and Azure data engineering what you were worked earlier, same thing I'm going to work currently from last 2 years on the Microsoft Fabric. The latest project whichever we implemented from last 1.5 year is on the Microsoft Fabric only. Earlier to that, I have experience on the Power BI designing of the some reports and dashboards. And if you are more familiar and if you are more convenient with the data engineering side, then you can tell them I implemented the projects on the Microsoft Azure data engineering in the earlier 2 years. But in the current from last 2 years, I've been working on Microsoft Fabric because my company, my client wants to migrate the existing project into the Microsoft Fabric, or they want us to implement the projects in the Microsoft Fabric. So now some of the clients they are moving to Microsoft Fabric, their existing solution. And if any new project is coming to the picture from the data engineering perspective, then definitely they are preferring Microsoft Fabric only because even the uh, service-based companies also giving a solution suggestion to the customers also to implement the projects on the Microsoft Fabric instead of the Microsoft Azure and Power BI. Okay, so some people were like thinking about I want to learn only Power BI. Seriously, I'm telling if you're learning only Power BI course, you will not get the calls. There is no much calls for alone Power BI. There is some calls for Azure data engineering, but alone Power BI don't learn. I'm giving a suggestion for all of you. Don't learn only Power BI. There is no calls outside in the market for only alone Power BI. And also when you are going to a company alone with Power BI, if someone is coming with this fabric, it contains data engineering and Power BI and everything, data science. Obviously, they will prefer that resources only. Even in the interview point of view, also, they will prefer that resource only. Why are they going to prefer your profile? You are just can able to do only Power BI, right? But currently, the customer is looking to implement the complete solution of data engineering, data analysis, data science, everything inside the Microsoft Fabric only. Okay, so let me show you that environment. So, okay, if I want to log into this Microsoft Fabric and to create our uh, this services, whatever we are going to use inside, like data factory, data engineering, and real-time analysis, and Lakehouse, data warehousing, KQL database. So where I need to log in it over here. So we need to log into this app.powerbi.com only. Okay, whichever the Microsoft was earlier using, Microsoft Power BI cloud login, in the same login only Fabric has implemented. Fabric has implemented means they are simply adding of this data engineering things, data science things into Power BI, and they're clubbing all these three, and they are calling this as a Microsoft Fabric. They don't have a separate URL like app.fabric.com. If you want to implement any Fabric solutions, then simply you need to go to app.powerbi. That's what I'm telling. Power BI is 100% available in the Fabric, same as it is what we have in earlier. Let me try to log into this app.powerbi. This is the logo of the Fabric. So you need to log in by using an email address. I will tell you how to create this login, how to get the subscription for this one. Okay. So this is your Fabric login. This is a cloud-based environment where you can see still it is calling as a Power BI only. So in the bottom you can able to see, here you can able to see there is a Power BI, data factory, data activator, real-time intelligence, data engineering, data science, data warehousing, all the things you can able to see it over here. Simply click on the Microsoft Fabric. The moment when you are clicking on this Microsoft Fabric, it will display all the services what we have in a single place over here. We have Power BI, we have Data Factory, Data Activator, and Real-Time Intelligence, Synapse Data Warehouse, Data Engineering, Synapse Data Science, Synapse Data Warehousing, and they are providing some documentation, exploring the community, all those things you can able to see. If you want to log out from this environment, you can able to log out it over here, and it's going to be 60 days uh, license available. So after 60 days, then this account you cannot use it. The Fabric capabilities you cannot use it over here. If you want to sign out anytime, you can able to sign out from this account as well. Okay, so this is how you can able to create a Fabric. I mean, you can log into the Microsoft Fabric environment over here. See, now it's coming here Fabric. So here, whatever the things you want to create, let's for example, if you want to create any kind of data factory solutions, or simply click on this data factory over here, and inside this one you can able to create a what do you want to create. Okay, what do you want to create? So before we are going to create these items, we need to maintain a workspaces. What do you mean by workspaces? Workspaces are nothing but a kind of folders to organize your project. Correct, you are going to create a lot of objects over here. You might create a data factory, you might create a real-time intelligence, data engineering, data science, data warehousing, anything, or Power BI reports. All you need to keep into your own workspace over here. So inside this workspace only we are going to organizing and managing of everything over here. Okay, inside this workspace only we are going to organizing and managing of all the objects. So if you see over here, whenever you are going to create this Microsoft Fabric, So this is my Microsoft Fabric. Inside this Microsoft Fabric, you are one of the tenant. Tenant means the company whoever is going to purchase the license of the Microsoft Fabric. Let's take it E classes is a tenant for the, we can call it as a tenant. And then after, under this tenant, we can have different capacity plans we have. Under each capacity plans, we can have different kind of workspaces we can able to create. Multiple workspaces we can able to create. Under each workspace, we can have a different kind of items. Okay, different kind of items we can able to create it over here. Under each item, we have a different kind of objects available. Let me tell you what is a tenant, what is a uh, capacity, what is a workspace level, okay, and what is a item level, what is a object level. So tenant means it's like a company which it is going to engaging with the Microsoft. Then after capacities, so for this project what you are going to implement, definitely you need to decide what kind of a capacity plan you want to use. According to that only the charges will be applicable. Under this capacity planning, you need to create multiple workspaces. Okay, so we are going to create workspace one. For example, I'm implementing for one project, so then I'm going to use workspace one. And then one more project I'm going to use, that is for workspace 2. So inside these workspaces, we are going to have all the items. What items? Items means it's all about like a uh, like what do you want to create? It is going to be a data factory, or it is going to be a Power BI, or a Lakehouse. What exactly it is? Those are the items. Under each items we have some objects. Objects means, let's for example I have created one report. One report is object, and I created one data factory pipeline, or in a data warehousing I created one customer table. So the customer table is one object over here. So this is how we are going to have the hierarchy of this project over here. This is how we have a hierarchy of the project. So we have administration. On the tenant level we can set some settings, and capacity level settings, workspace level settings, and item level control, and object level control having. Okay, so there is a tenant. Under the tenant, different kind of capacities. Under the capacities we have a workspaces and items. So where we can see this uh, tenant level settings and capacity level settings, all those things inside your portal itself. You can see there is a under settings, you can see there is a admin portal is there. So simply click on this admin portal. Under the admin portal you can see there is a tenant settings, and there is a capacity settings over here. So what kind of capacity plans you want to take it, you can able to take the capacity plans over here. So you can go to the fabric capacities. Currently we are in the trial period only. I will tell you how to enable the trial period. And the tenant level settings, what service you want to enable, data activators, and users can create a what kind of fabric items you want to enable them to create. So different kind of options available. Okay, and whether you want to enable the Copilot over here or not, all those things you can able to see. And then after, then the workspace is there. Okay, these are the tenant level settings, capacity level settings. There is a workspace level. So how to create a workspace, and on the workspace level what kind of administration you want to do, workspace settings you can able to see, right? Then after, item level. Item means whichever the items we created. Let's for example I created already one fabric workspace. Under this fabric workspace, what are all the items I created, you can able to see all the items. Data flows, e-classes, lake house. Okay, and these are all the notebooks I created. These are all my items. So item level, if you want to maintain any kind of settings, so you can able to use the item level settings over here. Under the item we can have the objects. Let's for example you can go to the e-classes lake house 2. So here I have so many objects available. Objects is nothing but I uploaded some files inside this one. You can able to see I have uploaded some files under this e classes lake house 2 item. These are all the objects. Objects means the files or the folders, whatever the file I have uploaded. This is one object. Clear? So this is all about like a the complete overview of this Microsoft Fabric environment, all the items, and what is the hierarchy over here. So next thing what we need to do is we need to create a login. Okay, how to create a subscription plan for this one. How to create Fabric subscription. How to create a Fabric subscription licensing to log into this. What is your login address of the Fabric? www.app.powerbi.com. So we need to log into this www.app.powerbi.com only. There is no such URL like a fabric.com, something like that. So you can directly log into this one by using a email address, and password. So is it going to support Gmail, Yahoo Mail, or any other commercial Outlook mails? No. Definitely you need to have a on Microsoft.com email address. Do I need any kind of a credit card is required for this one? No need of the credit card. No need of the credit card. But if you want to create any subscription for this Microsoft Azure, you need a credit card over here, right? And also it is going to be 30 days only free. But here, this free subscription, whatever the Fabric subscription, I want you to make to be available 60 days free. 60 days free license, and you no need to provide any credit card. You no need to provide any credit card. That is the one beauty of this Microsoft Fabric. So I will tell you tomorrow how to create a Microsoft Fabric subscription, and inside that how to set up the tenant settings and capacity settings. How can we arrange? How to create a workspace? Inside the workspace, how to create the items and how to create the objects. This is what we are going to discuss. So what are the items means? Items means it might be a lake house or a data warehouse, or it's a KQL database, or it might be a data factory, whatever it is. So we can discuss one by one on the items inside a workspace over here. So after completion of this course, the certification exam you need to write down is DP-600. This is the exam you need to write down the certification. The certification fees, I think around it's 4,000 to 5,000 rupees only. You can write down the certification exam. Okay. On this Microsoft Fabric, there is no resources on the outside, but there are jobs available on the Microsoft Fabric over here. Microsoft Fabric jobs. Customers are asking, but there are no resources available. 200 Microsoft Fabric vacancies, 242 Microsoft Fabric jobs, 3000 plus in LinkedIn Microsoft Fabric jobs in United States, and Microsoft Fabric consultant, new Fabric certifications, jobs in India. So there are so many openings are there for the Microsoft Fabric over here. Okay, so definitely please learn this course and you will understand easily. It is very easy for you. No need of any codings. No need to worry about any coding techniques over here. It's very simple. Out of this 100 percentage, hardly we are going to write down 10 to 20 percentage only commands, not the programming. Only 10 to 20 percentage of the commands only we are going to write down. Those commands also we are not going to write down. Copilot is going to write down. Copilot is automatically writing of the commands over here. You are not going to write down even single single line of the code. And with the 4 years of experience guy, 4 years of experience guy is going to get 15 lakhs of the package per year on this Microsoft Fabric because of the demand in the market. So the main advantage as early as possible if you're learning this course and joining the company, most of the projects they are doing on a POC. That means like a prior to the project implementation, they are designing this POC. You will be involved on the POC. Definitely most of the time you will get to learn the more things inside. You will having a less pressure. Interview also very easy if you're learning this course as early as possible. Okay. So we will help you on the resume preparation and interview question and answers as well, and how to keep projects inside the resume as well on this Microsoft Fabric. Okay, so there is no outside any institutions are offering this Microsoft Fabric. So definitely we are proud to be uh, offering this first time in India uh, more actively. Okay, go ahead, Ankit. What is your question?
Yes, Ram. So, my question is, how can we integrate the HL7 fire data into fabrics?
Which one? Azure?
Uh, integrate the HL7 fire data
I didn't get you.
into
Azure,
fabrics.
Azure data,
Yeah, fire data. HL7 based fire data.
files,
FHIR.
right?
No, no, fire. FHIR.
FH
Fire data.
higher.
Yeah,
So inside the Azure, whatever the FHIR data, right?
yeah, correct. So, fire data is the HL7 standard file formats, and it is altogether into a different uh,
It's for like
format
some
layer.
healthcare department data. You
Correct.
are,
Yes, and it is a standard CMS data
yeah.
which
So it is
has to be
some.
ingested. So,
So definitely there is like some APIs we need to use uh, to connect into this FHIR. So we need to look on that one because it's like a bit of a different requirement. So this is not a regular
okay,
pattern what the FHIR data we are using. Definitely there is a connectivity available for this one. We can create some shortcuts over here, and from the fabric you can able to connect. Definitely it is supporting all kind of services to be connecting from the Microsoft
hmm,
Fabric.
okay. Thank you.
So ideally here we need to use the APIs. There is a Azure API for FHIR is there. So we need to set up
Hmm.
that API connection
API
over here.
connection.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sir, Pawan this side.
Yes, go ahead, Pawan.
Sir, do we have any end-to-end project?
Yeah, definitely. That is very much required, right? At the end of the project and end of the course, we will get that one.
Oh, thank you, sir.